Hi guys, Irina here and welcome back to my channel where I review everything tech. It's been over a month since I got my Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra and I don't say it often on my channel, but I have to admit that I love this phone. Of course, any phone has its pros and cons and I'll talk about them in this video, so let's get started. Just a few words about the overall design and size of this phone. This is the Phantom Black color. The matte black looks great on this phone, so unsurprisingly, it looks like this is the most popular color for this model this year. Yes, the S21 Ultra is a big phone with a large display and I love it since honestly I don't feel comfortable with small displays, and if you're someone like me who always goes for XL, Max, Ultra versions, I think this phone will be perfect for you. However, if you're someone who doesn't really care about the display size, this phone might seem a little bulky to you, especially when you put it in a case. By the way, this is the case I showed you in my unboxing video. It's not sponsored. I've been using this case since day one with this phone and it's been pretty good so far. Let's talk about the display of this phone. We have a 6.8-inch OLED display on the Galaxy S21 Ultra. It has curved edges, which I personally don't mind. This display supports 120Hz refresh rate. Of course, you could set it to 60Hz to get longer battery life, and I think it's a good idea if you're someone who doesn't really see the difference or cares more about the battery life. However, on my phone, I prefer to keep it at adaptive, which goes up to 120Hz. The display on the S21 Ultra is really sharp. We get a really high pixel density here and every single icon looks flawless on this phone. When it comes to screen resolution, you could choose between HD+, Full HD+, and Quad HD resolution, which gives you the best viewing experience, but may negatively affect the battery life. When it comes to display features, of course, you could customize the colors of the display, you could adjust the white balance, and also you could enable the eye comfort shield to reduce the blue light from the display. Speaking of brightness, I think this is definitely one of the brightest displays on the market today, but I was curious, guys, does the S21 Ultra have the brightest display on the market right now? And when it comes to finding the truth, I always resort to comparing. Well, the short answer is no. And you can see this difference when you put the S21 Ultra next to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And this difference is not only visible to the naked eye, but it's also quite obvious to my light meter. When it comes to using these phones outdoors, you could also see this difference. So yes, the display on the S21 Ultra is not the brightest and it's a bit of a bummer, but I would say it's still more than enough for an average user. Next, let's talk about the camera of this phone. We have 4 cameras here. The main camera, the ultra-wide camera, and the dual telephoto camera with 3x and 10x optical zoom. I already have a very comprehensive camera comparison video on my channel featuring the Galaxy S21 Ultra and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Check it out if you want to see how good the camera performance is on this phone. And if you ask me, I'm really impressed with the camera setup of this phone. One of the most important things for me in any phone is a reliable camera. And I can definitely call it reliable on the S21 Ultra, and since the camera performance is pretty much outstanding on this phone, I can easily use this phone as my daily driver. One of the new features on the Galaxy S21 Ultra is the director's view, which is pretty cool and I think it could actually be useful. You can easily switch between the cameras here, and also you could change the view like picture-in-picture or split. However, keep in mind, guys, that the video stabilization in this mode is not that good. When it comes to zoomed photos, you have so many dedicated zoom options here, and I love that you don't have to pinch to zoom. And I think my favorite zoom option is 10x, since you get a significant amount of zoom here, but at the same time, the quality of the shots you get is really good. You could post these photos on Instagram and people would never tell that these are 10x zoom photos shot on a smartphone. When it comes to 30 times zoom, we still get pretty good photos. They're not as crisp as you would get with the 10 times zoom, but I would say they're still pretty decent. And when it comes to the 100 times zoom, of course, the quality of the shots is questionable, but if it's daytime with plenty of light, you could still get pretty decent photos. Well, I would not upload them on Instagram, but for my personal use, they would be fine, and I have to admit, these shots still look pretty amazing for 100 times zoom photos shot on a smartphone. I usually don't pay a lot of attention to front cameras, but I must say the front camera on this phone is really good. It provides really crisp and detailed selfies, and the good thing is that you could choose a color tone between natural and bright, which I think is great since we all have different skin tones and you could pick the one that suits you better. Also, let's not forget that this phone can shoot 8K videos at 24 frames per second, and I think it's kinda cool, but at the same time, I don't think it's useful, at least at the moment, since even being a content creator, I don't really see how I could use it in my work or in my daily life, and I don't feel like I need 8K now. But in general, speaking of the videos, the S21 Ultra gives you natural looking colors and great video stabilization on the main camera as well as on the ultra-wide camera. When it comes to biometrics and security features, we have a face unlock and the next generation ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, which Samsung claims is now faster than the one on the previous models. And from my experience, I would say yes, this fingerprint sensor is pretty fast and I don't have any complaints here. Now let's talk about the speakers on the Galaxy S21 Ultra, and right away I can say that these are the loudest speakers on this smartphone I've ever tried. We have stereo speakers here, the in-display speaker, which is hardly noticeable here and I love it, and another speaker at the bottom. When it comes to sound quality, it's pretty good, and even when it's set to the maximum, the sound is pretty clear on this phone. So yes, I would say the speakers on this phone are mind-blowing. Now let's talk about the battery of this phone. We have a 5000 mAh battery on the Galaxy S21 Ultra. In my unboxing video, I did a charging test and I tried a 65-watt adapter from Anker, and it took 1 hour and 39 minutes to fully charge this phone. And this time around, let's use the Samsung 25-watt adapter and see if there is any difference. So in 30 minutes we get 62%, and in 1 hour it's already 100%. So basically you could fully charge this phone in under an hour, and there is no need to buy more powerful chargers since this 25-watt adapter is obviously perfectly compatible with this phone. Of course, the S21 Ultra supports wireless charging and also reverse wireless charging, which I'm a big fan of. This feature is called wireless power sharing on Samsung phones, and you could easily charge any other devices that support wireless charging. So it could be another phone or your headphones. I find it really helpful. And when it comes to battery life, even with QHD+ resolution and 120Hz refresh rate enabled, this phone easily lasts me through the day. And moreover, I would say it's pretty hard to drain the battery of this phone in just one day. So yes, the battery life is one of the advantages of this phone. It's really good on the S21 Ultra. When it comes to the internals of this phone, this is the Snapdragon version, so this phone runs on Snapdragon 888. You get 12 GB of RAM on this phone, or 16 GB of RAM if you get this phone with 512 GB of internal storage. By the way, keep in mind that the Galaxy S21 Ultra doesn't come with the expandable storage, so you just have to make a decision here. I think it goes without saying that this phone feels incredibly fast. My whole experience with this phone has been practically seamless. It's really zippy, all the swipes and commands feel instant. Also, the gaming experience is great on the S21 Ultra, and it feels like you could throw virtually anything at this phone. The Galaxy S21 Ultra is IP68 certified, which means it's completely sealed from solids such as dirt and dust, and also is water resistant with the immersion of up to 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. This phone supports 5G, which is great, especially if you're planning to keep this phone for a few years as the 5G network continues to develop. I especially appreciate all the customizations and features that the Galaxy S21 Ultra offers, such as the Edge panel, where you could keep some of your favorite and useful apps. Also, with the split screen option, multitasking is super easy and effortless on this phone. I often use the screen recorder and I absolutely love how it works on this phone. Here you get a toolbar with markup features and other options such as selfie video, and also I like that you could pause your screen recording and then continue again at any time. When it comes to some little details, I like that you could change the call background on this phone, and most importantly, you could make your own call background with your own video, which is super cool. And also, the good thing is that the S21 Ultra is the only phone in the whole S21 lineup that is compatible with the S Pen. That's all for this review, guys. I hope this video was helpful for you. If so, give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.